Here we are, All Talk No Chill, episode 8 now. We had a little bit of a dark podcast last time. I don't know what's darker, the J-Lo documentary or Quiet on Set. No, I'm just totally kidding. But
dark in their own
right, yeah. But it's kind of crazy. I didn't realize that J-Lo is going on tour.
I did not know that either. Yeah, is this another self-funded tour that nobody asked for?
Unclear. Is going on a greatest hits, formerly known as This Is Me... now tour, and they realized they needed to rebrand after.
So now a greatest hits tour?
It is now a greatest hits tour after no one wanted.
At least we'll give them what they used to like, Jenny from the Block type songs.
Yeah, I don't actually think I know many J-Lo songs.
I know like the earlier J-Lo songs. But yeah, I couldn't really rattle them off for you.
I don't know what the greatest hits would be.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not sure what she's going to be pulling from discography-wise. I wonder how many albums J-Lo has out to pull from. This is... No.
I thought this was her second.
I hope she has more than just 2 albums to go on.
I thought this was her second album. I could be totally wrong on that, but that's why I thought it was so crazy.
Surely it cannot be. She has been around for far too long for there to only be 2 albums out.
I know, Meg, but she's not a singer. She had 1 album.
Luckily, I have my laptop. I have to Google this.
No, you have to Google. I think
No, I don't think so.
I think she's had features. I think she's had projects.
I think you need to give Jennifer Lopez a little bit more credit than what you are right now. I know we really ragged on her in our last episode, but she's still in her own right is...
Am I wrong?
Very wrong.
Okay. Okay, that's partly why I found it so crazy. No, enlighten me.
She has 9 studio albums.
Oh my gosh, now I feel a little bad. I actually thought this was her comeback album. That is...
No, Emma, she's been around since 1999 was her first album.
I know. I thought they said something in the documentary wasn't clear for me as someone who doesn't have context of her prior albums. Okay, well, that's good to know that she's a little less delusional. Yeah. Okay. Apologies to J-Lo. Another cultural reset was Cowboy Carter. And I have heard little from you, so...
My silence spoke volumes.
Yes. Like, what are your thoughts, if any? I feel like you're just like, eh.
I think I listened to like 10 seconds of the first song, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not a Beyonce fan.
Yeah.
And I stopped. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything.
Yeah, it's not your cup of tea.
I've never been part of the Beehive.
I am not part of the Beehive either. I think that's fair. Not everything has to be for everyone. And so we bring different perspectives here.
Yes, I have little opinion on her album.
I think Cowboy Carter, I'm not part of the Beehive. I respect Beyonce as an artist, not to pit 2 women against each other, but I feel like it tends to be people fall under Taylor Swift's genre of music and Beyonce's. I was excited for this one because I do like country, so it was the first time it really piqued my interest.
Is it actually country?
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't say it's a cohesive collection of country, but I also think that's not really the point. Her point is to say, I'm going to enter this space, even though I haven't felt welcome in the past. So I think it's almost the message and the context behind her decision to label this as a country album, not so much that it's country through and through, because it's not. There were a few songs that I love. There are some skips for me. You know, Jolene, they've been dragging that girl's name through the mud for years. Yeah. That was like a big at Rita Ora. That song was made for the Jay-Z cheating on Beyonce with Rita Ora. Oh. You remember that? No? Oh, you're really disconnected. That was like a huge deal. Okay. Oh, wow. She's glazed over, everyone. She's trying to hit next on the topics. Like Beyonce's someone who could play it safe and could just come out with another Beyonce album and everyone would be obsessed with it. I probably wouldn't listen, but she took a risk and I like that. I don't know if you've seen anything on TikTok about the number of girls that are like, everyone needs to start reverse searching items. This girl ordered from Jaded London and she got the item and it had a Shein tag. And then everyone responded and they're like, you have to reverse search your items. These brands are just producing things in the same warehouse.
I love seeing the Instagram posts of people getting bamboozled by Instagram stores that show up on their feeds and they want to buy that really cute dress and they buy it and then they show a picture of what they get when it's shipped to them and it's shit.
Yes.
And I always think those are hilarious because what do people expect?
I know.
If you're ordering from a fast fashion company,
no
it's
sympathy
not that we
over
need to. No, I have no sympathy. It's not that we need to be reverse image searching our clothes. It's you should just be buying better things.
Yeah, I think we need
that you don't need to worry about that they're coming from a Shein factory. Research the brand that you're shopping from and know where it's made and that it's good quality. And then you don't have to worry about getting Shein crap.
I know, but it is so hard though. I realized how hard it was. I'm usually pretty good with the clothing, but I went on Etsy, and Etsy, you think it's all homemade goods. The number one Etsy store in all categories, I'm fairly certain, is Caitlin Minimalist. Caitlin Minimalist is a jewelry brand, and you know, they have such a strong Instagram marketing tactic, and their ads are so clean because they take these products that are manufactured cheaply in China and then they photograph them, or they use AI to photograph them. And it is so tempting to buy it because you see all these reviews. Then I started to think critically as I'm looking at this brand, like, why does a small business Etsy shop have 7 million purchases? That doesn't make sense. So then you look in their About You, and these brands on Etsy, and I started going through all of them, they all claim to be these mom and pop shops, and then they route you to a website that's like,
what do you mean they route you to a website off of Etsy?
Yeah.
That right there.
Well, no, you still purchase on Etsy, but they'll say, learn more on our website. And the website either doesn't exist or it's not a mom and pop. And it's like, it's frustrating kind of that Etsy allows that. Yeah, be careful out there. If it's too good to be true, it is. It is.
Yeah. If it's a $12 dress that you think looks like it's off the runway, it's not real, people. Use your, like you said, use your critical thinking.
Brides, if they say they're going to custom replicate a Versace dress, hand beaded, and they have someone, you know, on Etsy, there are all these ads. It's not real. They're ordering something from a manufacturer in China and sending it to you. But
yes, but like to your point, do your research.
Yeah, people are just realizing this.
Okay. I'm thrilled for them.
These are the things that need to be in the school curriculum.
No more fast fashion. This is what you get. So I have no sympathy.
Yeah, no sympathy.
It's ridiculous.
Okay, so we got a lot of things to cover today. We're going to start with our reality Bravo. So many shows that start with a V. Vanderpump Villa, The Valley, Vanderpump Rules, Summer House.
It's not Vanderpump Villa. It's The Villa. They're completely unrelated to Vanderpump. She has...
Oh.
I'm
Smart.
pretty sure it's just the villa. Or is it Vanderpump Villa? I really just shot you down really fast. I was thinking like Vanderpump Rules the Villa that you could just said.
I thought Vanderpump Villa, but I'm so terrified of you that I just said, yep.
Well,
yeah.
I know the name of her villa is not, it's like Rosa Villa.
Whipping out her laptop. That thing. She has new power with that thing.
Because I want to like fact check myself before I start going off. No, you're right. It is Vanderpump Villa. I revoke my...
Okay, 1 point for you, 1 point for me.
Vanderpump Villa. So yeah, a lot of V's.
A lot of
to
V's.
Your point.
So let's just start with Vanderpump Villa. What were your initial thoughts?
I wanted to like it because I like the concept of it. It felt like so much forced drama with everybody that they're just trying so hard to be like, we're coming off the backs and the heels of Vanderpump Rules, and we're trying to emulate the drama that they brought. And so now they're trying to do the same thing. And it just felt really forced.
I think you nailed it. Of course, they have to curate the situation in order to have the show. In this situation, the show is coming first, the concept, and the guest came second. Whereas I thought it was like a cross between Bridgerton vibes in the ads, VPR, Love Island, just keep Love Island with the cheesiness, and Below Deck.
I would have appreciated it more if they weren't in like a trial era right now. The villa is not even open to the public. It's a very contained, controlled setting. So I feel like the guests are being paid to come on the show. It seems very scripted to me.
Yeah. I know Lisa Vanderpump does have a name. Like I said, the show came first. So they don't have this business and name to maintain and protect. So it's almost like the drama was too much. That would never fly in Below Deck, like fighting in front of the guests.
No.
That would be maybe on the last week of, you know, the charter season when they're at the absolute worst. Whereas we were the first night and they're already arguing in front of guests. They're already drinking on the job. It was so chaotic that it wasn't believable. I'll keep watching because Riley, my husband, was like, and there's more on. There's more episodes. He loves the cheesiness. And I'm like, I was standing up because I was done. But okay.
And then there's The Valley. I have very similar feelings. I'm just like not in love. I know some people are obsessed with it and think it's fantastic. I think I realized my whole thing with new shows is it's really hard for me to get on board with a cast that I don't know. I don't like putting in the time to like get to know, which is correlates very much to my real life. I don't want to have to spend time to like do small talk and like get to know somebody. Like I don't want to put in the work.
Yeah.
And that correlates also to my reality TV watching. When there's a brand new cast, I don't want to put in the work to like get to know these people's quirks. I like my tried and trues.
Same.
I know what they're good for, what they're bad for, and I can appreciate that. And I feel like Jax and Kristen bring that, and Brittany, because we know who they are. But everybody else, I don't care.
Janet is quickly becoming familiar, so I'm at least appreciate that. I do like the Valley, and I also view it as I need to start segueing from Vanderpump Rules to the Valley, because I think that is the future. So there are a lot of aspects I like. This past week, I thought it was hilarious how Zach was clearly casted to bring that gay best friend energy. And in no fewer than 3 episodes, Kristen is throwing him under the bus. He who has no allies because he's a single guy, and he's just sitting there like he wasn't casted for this. That wasn't what they anticipated. He's in the center of the drama. He's already thrown under the bus. He's not trained for this. He's trained to be the gay best friend. Like, he's not trained to be at the center point of the drama. So
no, I think it's hard for me to watch because I watched the first episode all the way through, and then I admittedly started and stopped both episode 2 and 3 like halfway through because I just couldn't do it. It's so hard to watch people in their 40s with so much drama in their lives. I can't imagine. I was thinking to myself, like, if this was my life and my friends were this dramatic fights, like with my husband and I can't imagine that life. And so to watch it on TV, I'm just like, this is sad.
Yeah, it's not relatable.
It's like depressing to watch. And to see that Jax and Kristen, also 40 years old, have not changed since we saw them on Vanderpump when they were in their early 20s is also sad and depressing. No. It's just hard for me to watch at this point of like, wow, you guys have not grown. You have not changed. You are the same. And that is hard to watch.
Yeah, it is hard to watch.
I can't.
That's how I felt almost at Vanderpump Villa. The fact that they were introducing cast members that were about to be part of this just horrible drama, and they were like 46, and I'm... But then again, we are the ones consuming this. So this week on The Valley, Kristen claimed that Janet said Michelle
I did see that.
Was a Republican
and therefore a racist.
Therefore a racist. Coming off the fact that Kristen was canceled due to past racist behaviors, there was a point in her confessionals that she's talking about, oh, I can't believe like I don't want to go back there, blah, blah, even though she's the one who brought this up. I don't want to go back there. It was the worst time in my life. And then it cuts to a confessional where she's wearing the same outfit, hair's done. You can tell it's filmed a different day. I know she's reading off a script and says, I am very ashamed of my past actions and I learned a lot. Cuts back to, and it was just the worst time of my life.
Producers watch that back and they're like, okay, Kristen, we're gonna need to
we can't do this again. You're right. So you're
apologize, please.
Yeah. You can tell that they were like, this isn't
nip
a
this
good
in
look.
the bud right away.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, this group. I am going to continue to watch.
I'll keep trying. Like I said,
I know. I think you're missing the last few minutes are really the only interesting.
I really can't get. Oh, that's so much to get through.
Okay, we'll just skip to the last few minutes. Okay. And that brings us to
the third of the franchise.
Oh, the third
Vanderpump franchise.
Vanderpump Rules. So this last episode was a particularly hard watch. We had the dog murder allegations from Ariana to Sandoval. And I thought, LaLa really is a loud voice this season. And I know she's getting a lot of hate and she drives me crazy a lot of the time. She at least is bringing a lot of commentary. And I thought it would be best to really analyze this episode through the lens of LaLa. And she has some bold points and some are reach and some are, like real shit. Like we should... Like she's saying some good stuff. Yeah. So I thought we could go through a few one-liners and you let me know if they're a real or a reach. Okay.
Okay.
Pertaining to the dog murderer. Should he have gone into the room? Referring to Sandoval. No, he shouldn't have. But the dog eating all this disgusting skewer meat on the side of your bed, Ariana's fault. Throw your trash away. Didn't you do a trash bag commercial? Referring to the Glad commercial that Ariana did. Real or reach?
I think that's real. As a dog owners, if you have a dog that you know is going to eat anything and everything in reach, i.e. the 500 laxatives that Tom was talking about, why are you leaving takeout food on your nightstand? I don't care if it's your room and your space. Your dog has access to your room and your space, so clean up your shit.
I felt like that was a real as well. What I think is a reach is coming down so hard on Ariana for being irrational. She's going to be irrational. She was cheated on. This is months after. But LaLa had some sound logic in that.
She did. And I know Ariana's being irrational, but for her to spin it as if Sandoval committed premeditated attempted murder to this dog was just such a reach.
Yeah.
That it was exhausting to watch.
Yeah, it was hard. And also it just takes away from her credibility. Like, she's just so heated. Yeah. And I think James had some like great wisdom, and he said she needs to release that anger.
She doesn't need to forgive and forget, but she needs to release.
Yes. And releasing,
which I agree with.
Yeah, I was like, James.
Yeah.
Oh, our little James. The next few ones I have are commentary. You know, she's been active on the podcast. So this is about Ariana staying in the house on her Give Them LaLa podcast. We know who Tom Sandoval is, so we need to take control of the things we can take control. And how do you stay in the same house and get a new boyfriend in 10 days? She was kind of talking about, you know who Sandoval is. Mm-hmm. We know he's not going to be someone to respect boundaries. He slept with your best friend. Why are you...
I think that's real and a reach.
Yeah.
I think the first part is real of, you know what you have gotten yourself into by staying in this house. Is that what she's talking about?
Yeah.
The whole like getting a boyfriend in 10 days is a reach to me.
Agreed.
Like, that's her decision. She wants to get in a relationship right away. Like, good for her. Yeah. That's her choice.
I had the same thing where I said it's real that we do know who Tom Sandoval is, and now moving forward, try and make decisions accordingly. Mm-hmm. But also it's a reach in that she does need to do what she needs to do for her happiness. And as Nicola Copeland, she's from Bridgerton, she was on Watch What Happens Live, she said she was just cheated on. Like, she give her a year to like process this, and it's going to be messy. And as infuriating as some of Ariana's decisions are right now, we need to give her grace. LaLa has valid points, but then she picks at everything, and then it like takes away from
discredits the rest.
Okay, this was the last one. She said on Heather McMahon's podcast, our main storyline is lying in the hands of someone who has never really brought anything to the show. Talking about Ariana.
I agree. She hasn't really ever brought anything to the show, like storyline wise.
Yeah. I think like, okay, she hasn't been the one in the center of the drama, but LaLa, you just going on this revenge tour or like anger tour towards Ariana and criticizing her for what, being a victim in a affair scandal on your show, and then saying you were worried that she wasn't going to bring it. That's not all on her. It's an ensemble cast. It's not just about Ariana's reaction to the scandal. It's the entire group. No one else was worried. You were the only one.
I love LaLa. I mean, she doesn't have much of a storyline this season.
Yeah.
So nobody really can. The storyline is Sandoval and Ariana. That is what they've got.
I think, yes. Yeah.
And you signed on to be on the season.
Yeah. I think I'm just looking forward to the reunion. I think LaLa has a lot of unsaid things, and then it's coming out in these little ways. And I just want to hear her at the reunion, because apparently she just eviscerated Ariana. Not that I want to see Ariana eviscerated, but I want to see LaLa's fleshed out arguments against Ariana and what's going on. I can see it in your eyes. You're done.
Yeah.
Vanderpump Rules fatigue has set in now.
I have nothing else to add.
Okay. And then lastly, rounding out with
there's
our
more?
Summer House. Okay. Summer House.
Okay, Summer House. Kyle being asked to be the flower boy was like the main topic. And I think it's delusional. I will say that it is your wedding, and as somebody who has been through it with being in weddings, not being in weddings, things like that, at the end of the day, it's their choice. Do I agree with it? Do I think that Kyle deserved to be relegated to a flower boy when Carl married Kyle and Amanda and was a best man in their wedding? A little disproportionate. I can understand how the year prior their relationship was kind of on the rocks. So in the moment, I can see how maybe Carl was questioning if he wanted Kyle to be a groomsman at that time. And so therefore, I think Lindsay was also in his ear of like, he is not going to be a groomsman at all. And so therefore that was their compromise. A year later, when the relationship is better, you can still change that and be like, no, actually, like, we have done work. I like where we're at with our relationship. You're somebody that's going to be in my life forever, and I want you to be a groomsman. Nothing is set in stone. You are the groom, so you have the choice to not make him a flower boy.
Yes.
You could have made him a groomsman.
It is such a nuanced situation with anytime someone is expecting to be a role in a wedding, and then it's not that. Feelings are going to be hurt, but like you said, people are entitled to their own decisions about who's in their wedding party. I think what's really going on is Lindsay putting her seeds of doubt and distrust of friendships into Carl's ear. And that's why he thought that being a flower girl was a safe bet, because he gets to have someone he really cares about in his wedding, but also gets to honor his fiance. I just found it crazy that Kyle's like nodding and processing it. And I think he said in the after show, he's like, yeah, it was really afterwards that I'm like, wow, you officiated our wedding and this is
not even a real part of a wedding.
Flower girl
boy is not.
I thought it was funny how Carl, like, he didn't really add much comedic flair to it. He's like, I want you to be a flower boy.
And Kyle was like, oh, so not a groomsman? Flower boy, dude.
Flower boy.
This is good.
Yeah. I was like, you gotta make fun of it. Also, not even the ring bearer, the flower boy.
I think he handled it in great strides.
Yeah.
And was like, if that's what you want me to do in your wedding, I will be there. I will be the best damn flower boy you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But of course, I would definitely have felt some type of way.
Yeah.
Like, I would have loved to see Kyle, Andrea, and Luke as flower boys in this wedding.
I know, I would have killed for that. Yeah, but like usually it's like usher. Like my brother has been an usher.
I know, but haven't you seen the like viral TikTok things that people are doing nowadays where they have grown men be the flower?
Oh no.
Oh, it's like an actual thing that people have, like full grown men walk down the aisle with flowers and they do it like super like
that's
outgoing and funny.
Oh, okay, that makes it better.
It would have been funny. It would have been entertaining.
The wedding never happened, so.
It never happened, so we don't have to keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Really. Right. And they're friends, so.
And they're friends.
It all worked out.
True.
I'm just saying we're moving on
from
the reality TV to an article that actually my brother and his girlfriend brought to my attention when they were visiting for Easter. It's from The Cut, and the name of it is The Case of Marrying an Older Man. A Woman's Life is All Work and Little Rest. An Age Gap Relationship Can Help. So it's written by Gracie Sophia Christie, who is 27 years old now, writing about her philosophy on the benefits of an age gap relationship. So for her, she is talking about her 10-year age gap relationship with her husband. She met her husband in Harvard when she was 20. He was a graduate student at the time while she was an undergrad. She got married when she was 23. So he was 33 when they got married. And the entire article is just her enlightening us. She's just like cracked the code to life. And it is date older. And that is the answer to all of your woes and worries of being a young female in the world just trying to make it.
Are we sure Pookie didn't write this?
No, in Pookie's defense, she's not in an age gap relationship. This author really talked down on same age, same stage relationships. She's absolutely scoffed at the idea of dating somebody anywhere close to your age. And so a lot of issues for me arose from this article. It was just deeply unhinged.
As I was reading it, I loved it.
Oh.
I loved it. But then I was reading...
What did you love? I want to hear what you love.
Then I went to read the criticisms of it, and I was like, wow, I didn't perceive it in that way at all.
I want to hear how you perceived it.
Okay, so I think if we ignore the fact that this author is clearly a beneficiary of probably pretty privilege, wealth, circumstance, she went to Harvard Business School, and probably lacks some awareness that not everyone just has that choice to choose between a rich older man and just someone they happen to fall in love with, which is usually how it goes. What resonated with me was her commentary how even in same age relationships, it's always ups and downs. She said, referring to people in the same age, same stage relationship, she pictures a 3-legged race, 2 people tied together and hobbling towards every milestone. Yes. I actually laughed at that. I'm like, it's so true. And I met my now husband younger, on the younger side. I do feel like, we've grown together. We met in college. We have hobbled towards every milestone. But that, to me, is something that I wear as a badge of honor. Like, we've grown together. We've continuously grown and then chosen each other. And I think there's honor in that. I did take it as she was criticizing that, but she was trying to do it because everyone rips on big age gaps. So she was trying to be like, well, this is what I think of you. And it was kind of funny. Yeah. But then also I related to, she said, to be a woman is to race against the clock in several ways until there is nothing left to run ragged. We try and put it off, but it hits us. Our power, as in women's power, is a funnel, and then men's is this expanding cone. And it's so true. Like, women are constantly, faced with the idea of a biological clock, and not even that. You know, if you have kids young, then you give up your 20s, but then you have your 40s and 50s. If you have kids late, then you have your 20s and 30s. But then why should we have to like trade off like that? And it's just so frustrating. So a lot of those points about clock that women are up against and how that shouldn't be a concept, that resonated with me. But I'm a very self-centered person, so when I read things, I'm reading it looking for ways to relate. So those things related, but I really need to meet this girl and know if she's just completely lacks self-awareness and her privilege, or if she was aware of what she was doing. You think
I, on the flip side, did not relate to this at all. I think for starters, if we're going to be talking about this concept of an age gap relationship, to me 10 years is nothing in the grand scheme of things. She is talking as if a 20-something like teen bride marrying a baby boomer who's in his 60s. Yeah, that is an age gap where this man has lived a full life, and yes, he probably has a ton of wisdom that he can impart. They were 10 years apart. They went to the same school. He was a graduate student. It's not like he was a professor 50 years old when she met him. So to me, her argument is just kind of null and void because he's barely 40. She's 27, so he's 37. He's not even 40 yet. If you're going to be talking about age gaps, 10 years to me does not count.
I read that in a different criticism.
Because she said her husband was burnt out by the time he was 30. Like, what?
Yeah, that's
he burnt out by the time he's 30. And so then she was like, I'm just this, spunky little ball of life that just brought this excitement back into him.
Using his cane.
He's 30 years old. He's not 1 foot in the grave.
Yeah, that's so true.
And then to your point, the way she talks about these same age, same stage relationships and talks down on them.
Yeah.
She described her brother who was in his early 20s, and the way she described her brother's relationship with his girlfriend of how he's useless. He leaves a towel on the floor. He can't do his own laundry. And here she is trying to like mold him and teach him. You can find people in your same age that have similar values to you and isn't leaving towels on the floor if that's not what you want.
Yeah.
But to make it sound like if you date any guy in your age range, you are going to be doing all the work for them. You have to pretty much mold them. And I don't want to be molding with somebody and going through these struggles with them to grow with them. To me, the entire point of a relationship and being married to somebody is going through those hard times, learning to grow with each other. And sometimes you don't grow at the same point as that person, but it's knowing how you can find that balance. And the hardships are what makes the relationship worth it. So to me, you want to bypass all that hard stuff. You just want to skip over to the wealthy guy who's going to tell you what wine to drink and tell you where you're going to vacation. Where is the like deeper connection? Because she did say she's like, he is my husband. He's not her partner, but a mentor, lover, and quote, only in certain contexts, my friends.
Why only?
A mentor? I'm sorry. My husband is not my mentor.
Yeah. I think we actually have very similar takes. Like, I was amused reading it, and I wasn't like,
oh, yes.
She was describing something that I wouldn't necessarily want, in that she's bypassing hardships. And also, she's saying, oh, my brother leaves his towel on the ground. I'm not perfect, so I don't want to enter a relationship wherein I am the apprentice to a mentor and I need to do everything right. I am not perfect, and neither is my husband, and I don't.
And also, when you're 20 and you're dating other 20-year-old men, like, yeah, they still got a lot of growing up to do.
And the fact that she even wrapped up the article by saying she was worried, like, yeah, of course, sometimes I wonder if he betrays me for someone younger, what will I do? The fact that that's even crossing her mind, I'm like, you realize that not every relationship is people unsure of if someone's going to leave them. Like, she wrote that, and I think she tried to do it as like a disclaimer, like, of course I worry. But it's like, you really shouldn't be worrying at all if you're in a secure marriage.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we know why she chose to marry him. It was for his money and this easy life. But like,
that's what it was.
Are you in love with him? Like,
I think that's what
she's... Is it truly surface level? Because that's the impression that I got. Because she quite literally said that she doesn't want to grow side by side with somebody. She just wants somebody to make decisions for her and wants everything to be easy.
No, I think we understand.
Is that quite literally?
She said, the truth is, we can all fall in love with someone for all sorts of reasons. Tiny transactions, pluses and minuses, whose sum is your affection for one another. Like, I think that is how she views relationship. She's not looking for a connection. She wants what is my life going to look like?
Yeah, it sounds really fun and exciting. I would love to just go on vacations and not really have to work. But how long will that be fun?
Yeah.
She's only 27 now. Like, they are married, so they are going to have to go through some hard things just by nature of being married.
Yeah, I think she...
so what's going to happen?
Usually the hardships are what help form your foundation.
And you can't just do like a timeout pause and just fast forward. That's not how it works. So...
No. I mean, I think she's hoping that there will be no hardships.
And again, in my mind, this guy he's 37. He's also not that old. So
he's washed up, Meg. He's tired. He's in bed. He's going to be in bed, and she's going to be, he's
collecting his Social Security and sign up for AARP, and there you go, retire. It was a wild article to read.
Highly recommend reading it, just because it's not often there's a lot of echo chamber activity happening. This was a fresh perspective. Like, holy cow, it's taboo for a reason, because
she did not stutter. She
said it with her full chest.
She did. She's like, I cracked
you
the code.
Fools.
Yeah, you idiots. It's easy. It's right here. I solved it for you. All right, so next up, Taylor Swift. She released a set of curated playlists to Apple Music based off of 5 of her songs, which were then like relating to the 5 stages of grief. I can't believe you haven't heard anything about this or seen this on TikTok yet.
Oh, I did. I thought it was
you
AI.
You have seen it?
I thought it was AI, so I just kept scrolling. I'm like, ha, fake. Meg, I've stayed too vigilant. I've been too vigilant and too alert to AI.
It's completely just
I know Taylor did
not getting me today.
Yeah.
Even though this was real news.
Yeah, very much.
They're great playlists.
Wow.
And it's awesome to listen to the songs through the context of knowing like, okay, this is the Denial playlist. And so all of these songs relate to Denial. So I want to go through the playlists. The first playlist is titled I Love You, It's Ruining My Life. So all the titles are titles of actual songs on her new album. And so this one relates to denial, the first stage of grief. It's a list of songs about getting so caught up in the idea of something that you have a hard time seeing the red flags, possibly resulting in moments of denial and maybe a little bit of delusion.
And she says that
with
her voice. She did a little audio clip. Wow.
So the songs on the Denial playlist: Lavender Haze, Snow on the Beach, Sweet Nothing, Glitch, Betty, Willow. Do you have any thoughts about those?
It's interesting she's using ones that have stories attached to them. Like Betty wasn't about her by name, but it painted the picture of this high school relationship. But Betty clearly she identified something in her own life through that song.
Cruel Summer, Lover.
Rip.
Does that
rip? That was my first dance song.
I thought of you when I saw that.
Yikes.
Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, False God, Style, God. Wildest Dreams, Treacherous, Untouchable, Superman, Bejeweled, Hours.
Superman, niche.
Yeah.
What about Peace? I feel like that would have belonged in there.
That is not on that playlist.
I'm sure it's an accident. I'll talk to her later.
The second stage of grief is anger. So it's You Don't Get to Tell Me About Sad. And so here she says, these songs all have one thing in common. I wrote them while feeling anger. Over the years, I've learned that anger can manifest itself in a lot of different ways, but the healthiest way that it manifests itself in my life is when I can write a song about it, and then oftentimes that helps me get past it. I mean, the anger ones are very straightforward. Vigilante shit, high infidelity, would've, could've, should've, exile, illicit affairs, mad woman, tolerate it, bad blood.
That's the greatest breakup playlist there ever was.
Is it over now? I knew you were trouble. The last time, the moment I knew. I bet you think about me, Dear John, Better Than Revenge. Oh, yeah. Really good breakup playlist. And so the third one is Am I Allowed to Cry? This one sounds perfect for you.
This sounds perfect for me.
So this one is Bargaining. The playlist takes you through the songs that I've written when I was in the bargaining stage, times when you know you're trying to make deals with yourself or someone that you care about. You're trying to make things better. You're oftentimes feeling really desperate. And because oftentimes we have a sort of gut intuition that tells us things are not going to go the way that we hope, makes us more desperate, which then makes us bargain. And so the first one on here is The Great War. This is me trying. Peace is on this one.
There we go. That's so true, because she was,
she
trying to make sense of.
The Archer, Cornelia Street. This one is tough. Death by a Thousand Cuts, Soon You'll Get Better, Afterglow, Say Don't Go, Come Back Be Here, The Story of Us, The Other Side of the Door, Renegade.
That one may hit even worse than Anger.
Get ready for the next one, because it's
no.
Depression.
Oh, this is for me too.
Old habits die screaming. Feelings of depression that often lace their way through her songs. In times like these, I'll write a song because I feel lonely or hopeless, and writing a song feels like the only way to process this intensity of an emotion. While these things are really, really hard to go through, I often feel like I'm either listening to songs or writing songs that deal with this intensity of loss or hopelessness. So this one's rough. This is one that you would cry to, I feel like, if you need a good cry.
I mean, I've already cried.
Bigger Than the Whole Sky,
Oof.
Dear Reader, Maroon, You're Losing Me, My Tears Ricochet, Epiphany, Hoax, Champagne Problems, Coney Island, Right Where You Left Me, All Too Well, Last Kiss, Castles Crumbling, White Horse, Nothing New. The last stage of grief is acceptance. Let's see. These songs represent making room for good in your life and making that choice, because a lot of times when we lose things, we gain things too. You're on Your Own, Kid, Midnight Rain, Labyrinth, The One, August, Invisible String, Happiness, Evermore, It's Time to Go, Daylight, This Love, Clean, Breathe, Begin Again.
Those, each playlist, as you were reading the names, I really did start to feel this like aura in me, because I do have those emotions associated with each song.
Oh, you do? Wow. You feel like they all?
Yeah, I do. I mean, some of them are a little surprising that she included them in the playlist, like I was explaining Betty and stuff. So there will definitely be some that I'll listen to through a new lens, but like Daylight, Clean, it really is like a fresh of acceptance. And does she listen to her music and cry like we do to her music? Or does she just like sing it on the piano and cry?
I'm really excited for this album. Joe is kind of in a league of his own as far as her ex-boyfriends, because he has an entire album dedicated to him. I don't think any of her, she can really say that for any of the other exes.
No, that's so true.
Like John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal, they're kind of sitting pretty right now.
Yeah.
We had it hard, but we have not had it this hard.
We have not had it this hard. Joe.
They should be thanking their lucky stars that they've got Joe to follow up. And then I was also wondering to myself, do you think Travis is sitting there as she's like kind of like making these playlists, getting ready for this album to come out? Do you think Travis is sitting there wondering like, damn, I better not fuck up?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be screwed one day if this relationship goes south. I'm going to have to go into a witness protection program.
100%.
So do you think he's like on his best behavior? I would be if I was dating Taylor Swift.
I would be too.
Or at least if it ends, it better not be on my terms.
Yeah. If it ends, then it needs to end early rather than 5-6 years, because then
she has a lot of
ammo against you. So hopefully it puts pressure on in a good way. Like you're in or you're out.
Yeah. He better hope for his sake this is endgame.
Yeah, for sure. But she's entitled to make her art.
Oh, 100%. I'm here for it. I love it all.
Yeah.
I'll take it. But
J-Lo kept saying, this is meta. This is meta. No, J-Lo, you don't know what meta is. This is meta. This is something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So for our rabbit hole of the week, we've been dying to just dig our claws into Jojo Siwa.
Which I think is an excellent segue off the heels of our last episode where we talked about J-Lo and just the complete delusion that she has. And I think Jojo Siwa is orbiting in that same universe as J-Lo.
J-Lo should be her mentor, honestly.
Yeah. I don't really even know what she does.
Let's explain who Jojo Siwa is real quick.
She started from Dance Moms. Mm-hmm. She was on 2 seasons from 2015 to 2016. That's where she started. And then that's kind of where I lost her. She honestly fell off the map for me. I watched Dance Moms growing up, so I knew her from that. And then once that was over, I don't know.
Oh, I'd love to interject.
Okay.
So I was newly introduced to her when I got on TikTok, 2-3 years ago. And she's very active on TikTok. And there's a TikToker, she describes herself as the Perez Hilton of lesbian talk and often covers Jojo Siwa. She's come out as bisexual or lesbian. And there are other TikTokers very much in her inner circle that they all date each other and there's all this drama. So then the Perez Hilton of lesbian talk always comments. And I'm like, she is so messy. So not only is she very much in that creator world, she now makes money by giving these kids concerts, and her whole thing is rainbow and really,
glitter,
infantile
big
themes.
bows.
Yes. She is the face of traction alopecia as she just pulls that ponytail really tight and her hair is receding.
That's hard to get out of once
you're
grow
a
up in
dancer.
the
I feel
competition dance world.
So she had a signature look, and but she did hold on to it for a little long with the big bows. It's evident that Jojo Siwa is quickly becoming the Debbie Ryan of the 2020s, which, Meg, you didn't realize who Debbie Ryan is, but I'm still going to put this in here because us Gen Zers possibly really do know.
Is she like a Gen Z?
She was like a
something or
mid-tier Disney Channel star.
Okay.
Honestly,
she has not been in my stratosphere. I can tell you that.
I never watched her. It was her red carpet interviews that everyone was just like, what is happening? Jojo Siwa she came out with a single and Karma, and she is a pioneer in her field. She is starting a new genre. I think she called it lesbian pop.
She has stated that she is inventing a new genre called gay pop.
Gay pop.
Which, categorically false.
Elton John
is not inventing gay pop by any means. Do your research before you go stating these things. Hello, Freddie Mercury, Boy George, Elton John. The list goes on and on. No, you are not by any means creating a new genre. So take that feather out of your hat.
Our interest was piqued and we were ready to go in.
I'm all for, if you want to rebrand yourself, go for it. We see it happen all the time. Specifically the Disney star pipeline, I would say, of like the Miley Cyrus, the Selena Gomez. Everybody changes and evolves. I don't agree with her rebranding and how she's going about it. I don't know if it's truly a rebrand.
Big bows, you're out. She's now in
That's the only thing she's dropped, though, to me. She's dropped the big bows and the rainbow. She's still got the rhinestones. She's got the glitter. She's got the very, out there jarring look. So, to me, she's still that JoJo. There's nothing wrong with wearing rhinestones. Taylor Swift does it all the time. And she rocks it. There's a specific kind and way that we do the rhinestone. All in the hair. It's just this. It's everywhere.
She's clearly taking inspiration from G Flip, who is a drummer and trying to create space in the drummer world as non-binary, and started a music video with Chrishell from Selling Sunset, and they fell in love. And they are this really respected modern couple. And G Flip is really cool, has tattoo sleeves, is a drummer, just so badass. And Jojo Siwa has started this tattoo sleeve and just all at once.
Those aren't real, though.
Oh, yeah. Some of them aren't real.
I don't think any of them are.
Oh, thank God. Oh, my gosh.
I thought they were when she did that whole video showing them off. But then recent videos that I've seen, they're not there. So I think they're like a flash tat.
Okay. Actually, that's very responsible of her. Honestly.
Honestly, that would have been more convincing for her rebrand if they were real tattoos. The fact that they were flash tats just goes to show that
that's true.
She is not committing to the rebrand at all.
Thank God.
It's completely fake.
Tiny voice in her is don't make this permanent.
It just seems all very forced. She's pulling so much inspiration from Lady Gaga and specifically Miley Cyrus and Miley Cyrus's Bangers tour. That was her true coming out as leaving the Hannah Montana behind. This is her now. But people have been saying the difference between the two is Miley Cyrus showed a vulnerable side of her with that album and showed this truly a new side of herself that people responded to. But Jojo Siwa I don't see the vulnerability side of it aside from just being so obnoxious.
I think she's reading the book on how to be a child actor and she's like, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to have my rebellious stage. Let me kick that into action. She was a child performer. Now she came out with this single, but she hasn't successfully made her demographic older. They're still the same demographic. People my age and 18, 19, 20-year-olds aren't listening to her music. It's 13-year-olds. So I think
she wants to be respected in that different space. And I probably would have been a little bit more convinced that she was this bad girl, she says in her Karma song.
I am.
She says Karma's a bitch, but then she can't say the F word because she says F around. Ma'am, commit to it. Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it. If you are a bad girl, say the word.
Who is advising her? A year after Karma was a Billboard hit from a billionaire artist, Taylor Swift, tells her, come out with a hit song named Karma.
Let's stick with that.
Do you think that was strategic that when people type in Karma for Taylor Swift, they accidentally click Jojo
because I
Siwa.
personally would like to know who I need to file a claim with for compensation on the amount of hours that damn song has been stuck in my head.
Yes.
Unwillingly. I don't want it in my head, but it is, and I can't get it out, and it's not a testament to her great catchy tunes. It's so obnoxious. I hate it.
We need to file a claim.
I hate it. I need to file a claim with somebody because it's taken far too many hours out of my
No consent.
life. No consent.
No consent.
And then I have been seeing questions raised of whether it's actually her singing, which now I don't think it is.
Oh,
because
no.
have you seen the video of her in the car trying to sing Olivia Rodrigo's Traitor?
And her face just goes red.
And she can't hit the note. And then I saw somebody say it's unequivocally not her singing this Karma song because the notes that she hits in Karma are higher than the note that she tried to hit in this Olivia Rodrigo song that she could not hit. But I did kind of relate to her in that sense of she is me and I am her, because when I'm in the car and I'm singing to Taylor Swift, I am harmonizing with her and I sound amazing.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I just keep that sense of delusion, I too could have my own album.
My endurance? I don't stutter on All Too Well 10-minute version.
It takes some lung capacity in order to get through some of those bridges, and I nail them every time.
Why do you think I work out? It goes to good use.
I feel JoJo on that.
Yeah, and she just is, having mic drops left and right on the red carpet. She goes up, they say, who would be your...
She's so funny.
Who would be your ideal podcast guest? And she goes, my ex. Oh,
I said it.
And everyone else is like, okay,
cool.
All right.
But also, you're 20 years old, so like, how many exes have you had? You would have your like 13-year-old, 19-year-old. I don't know.
Oh, like, Avery, the girl who you went on the Disney cruise with 2 years ago with your parents.
Don't need it.
Have her on. Let's talk about your, teenage love story.
Yeah, she says things expecting them to be like a controversial take, like, oh my God, everyone's gonna be talking about this. And everyone
is talking about it for the
opposite reason.
And Nick Viall and her relationship needs to be studied. She's not in on the joke.
No, but I was curious. Do you see how she wears dress? Honestly, she might be onto something.
She is taking, behind the scenes, they do slip back. So she decided to take extra precaution. Honestly, she is a pioneer in the podcasting world. I feel like she's on every other week. Is she like a standing guest? I don't know. Does she have a slot?
She must.
Did you see the dancing with Nick Viall?
Okay, so that's another subject that I want to talk about.
Okay.
As somebody with a bachelor in fine arts in dance, I feel somewhat qualified to speak on this topic of her dance ability. First of all, this Karma dance that you have seen everywhere, I truly think she expected people to watch her do this series of movements to be like, that is the next TikTok trend.
That's the key, guys.
She wanted people out there redoing this. And the unfortunate thing is that most people that I have seen redoing her dance look better than her.
Oh, I haven't seen one person redo it. I just see her doing it. So it is catching
there
on.
There have been, mostly it's her dancers that she has paid to teach at her like Jojo Siwa dance studio. All of them have been reposting videos of them learning the choreography, and it looks amazing on them.
Oh, great.
And so to me, that says a lot.
Yes.
Because as a dancer choreographer, I can pretty much say without a doubt, if you are choreographing a dance, that dance looks the best on the person making the movement because it's coming from their body.
Yes,
it is
so true.
Made on you. So it should look 100% perfect from the person creating it.
That would be a smart marketing.
The part of being a choreographer is getting your dancers to emulate that and to look somewhat similar. But I can guarantee you, if I showed you a dance video of choreographers with their students, you would be able to pinpoint who made that dance without knowing who the choreographer is, because your eye just will go to them naturally because it's their work.
Yeah.
But on JoJo, it looks awful. I watch everybody else around her but her.
That's so true.
And she's tried to validate it, I think, because she has heard people saying it looks nuts, it doesn't look good.
Oh, yeah.
And she's tried to validate it by saying her whole thing is it's meant to be over exaggerated. It's supposed to look nuts, which is what she's gone on the record saying is it's supposed to be kind of like large and look like that. That's the whole point. But I have seen many choreographers able to pull that off of a very over exaggerated movement and style. But on her, it looks so forced and she's committed far too much to it. to the point where other dancers are doing it and it's looking better on them because they have more control than her, and she's still not.
A TikTok dance really thrives when everyone just looks at that and says, oh my gosh, I want to do it.
Nobody wants to do it. If
that's not successful with her, then she needs to not do it. Then it's not the way it was supposed to be, because then it wouldn't be a TikTok dance.
I can't get on board.
I also think, though, she's going to be someone who never looks back and regrets these things.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, she will be J-Lo forever. She will be having these moments forever.
Did you know that she self-funded her music video?
Jojo Siwa?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Because nobody wants to fund music videos anymore. She's like, yeah, you can just like put it on TikTok and it gets more views. Yeah, that's the day and age that we're living in. So nobody would fund her music video, so she self-funded it because, again, she saw the vision, she's an artist, and she had to see it through.
Wow. And I've been sitting here trying to think, what would I recommend Jojo Siwa do instead? And I don't know, because she's
not wear the stupid unitard and the kiss eye makeup.
But like, she does need a rebrand, but I don't think a rebrand is possible because she is so uniquely her.
Because she also equates herself to Lady Gaga, I think, in the sense of like just trying to be super.
Lady Gaga is avant-garde.
Yes, because Jojo has really committed to this costume that she's wearing, that's in her Karma video, and she has been wearing it to everywhere she can.
Everywhere.
It's too much. Like, Lady Gaga wasn't wearing her one costume in her like music video that was just coming out everywhere she went. That was the whole allure of it. Like, we didn't know what she was going to be wearing next. We know what JoJo's going to be wearing. Yeah. It's that damn unitard with the eye makeup.
But Lady Gaga was avant-garde couture. Jojo Siwa looks like
this is a dance competition unitard that she hand bedazzled at home with her mom. And
she looks like she's from a Disney Channel kids movie that's like, these cartoons become real life figures that were in a rock band. Caricature. And they're like, oh, whoa, I'm a real person now. I'm my star. Like, that's what it is like.
Yeah, she's like a cartoon character.
Yeah. Like,
not a real person, which is not relatable. So
no, she would fit in at Disney World, maybe. I don't know. Maybe that's the end game, is that she's like a Disney World person.
Is she having an album come out? Is that the whole point of this?
No. An album?
Well,
oh my God, I haven't even thought that far. I'm just processing the single.
Is that?
It was just a single. I'm thinking,
so far. Like, what is all of this for?
I mean, there has to be an album cover. She's making a genre. She can't make a genre for a single.
But she can't actually sing. So I'm like, is there an album? What's
Honestly,
going on?
She probably poured all of her money into that music video. And
so it's just the one song?
I'll let them see how it goes. And then it'll like
take off.
Get the anticipation rising for the album. I think she's going to be left with nothing for the album.
Did she sing when she performed to children?
It was like it was auto-tune. It was.
So we're just going to get like another
voice-over. Like, that's what it was, because it was kids, and that wasn't
like
the point.
Kids bop.
So I don't know why she's trying to veer into music when she's like outing herself already that she doesn't sing. But she's like the kids bop version of all these famous people. And I don't see her getting out of that through this venture.
No.
Stuck in kids bop. And the thing is, she is alienating herself so much that the people she looks up to, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, G Flip, they will never take her under her wing. They will distance themselves as far as possible.
Yeah, that would have been one thing if somebody came out and was like, yeah, I've been seeing what JoJo's doing and totally see myself in her when I was doing this like rebrand. No, it's been crickets.
Like Olivia Rodrigo, when she first came out, it was like the Taylor Swift took her under her wing, and it was so well done, that mentorship. And this crickets. I will say, I did watch some outtakes from what was that show that Sandoval was in that he was late coming to this season because it was like a bunch of
that like survivalist show.
I randomly went into a rabbit hole. Jojo Siwa was actually.
She's on it.
She actually had some grit there, but it was because she was stripped down, wasn't doing all of the showy stuff. She was being real, and she has a good work ethic, like delusional as her ideas are. She puts her all into it. Yeah. She is all in. She was like, actually, I really liked her in that. So
maybe that's her. Yeah, that's the brand.
Do some crowdsourcing and figure out what's landing with a more mature audience, because. You carrying Sandoval up the hill, really...
That was it.
That was it for me. So...
That's where we need to end up.
Yeah. All right. So, it's all she wrote for episode 8. Be sure to subscribe and rate. And check us out on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. And send us to your friends.
Yeah. Share.